to talk about your environment, okay? And how it is probably, in my opinion, the biggest determining factor in whether or not you actually lose the weight and whether or not you're going to keep it off. In my opinion, it is the biggest determining factor of how this journey is going to go. Your environment and how it changes as you evolve, okay? So I had quite a few Fit Queens ask about this topic, so I wanted to kind of expand on it. And it's funny that I had some ladies ask me about it because it's also hits close to home for me right now, because Ryan and I are actually in the process of buying a house right now. We are looking to buy a house. And the reason we are wanting to be a house, apart from the regular reasons of we're a young couple and we want to live together, we want to get out of our current environment. We want to get out of our current environment, okay? Why? Because Ryan and I have such high expectations of ourselves, and we set such high standards, financially, career-wise, health-wise, personal-wise, just everything in our life. We have such high expectations of ourselves. We live in a house with about 12 other people. It's all of Ryan's family. They're absolutely wonderful, wonderful people. But their goals are different from our goals, right? We're vibrating way up here. Our frequency's way up here because we have such high, even sometimes unrealistic expectations. And they're just in the middle right here, right? They're just floating. They're happy. They don't want any changes, right? And that's totally their prerogative. I'm not here to say that I'm better than anybody because I have other expectations. They are happy. That's their life. But it doesn't align with mine. So if I stay here, what happens, ladies? I get pulled down to their frequency. I'll be constantly fighting, and it's a battle that I'll never win, right? Because what you are and who you're around is who you become, period. No matter how mentally strong you are, right? So that's kind of my experience with it right now. And it's funny. So I am constantly, and Ryan as well, we are striving for physical excellence and for mental excellence. And so are you, right? That's why you're here. You want your version of excellence, right? And here's the thing. Some people in your life don't want the same thing. And the environment and the lifestyle you've created possibly doesn't promote that, right? Or not as well as it should. So the best way to kind of demonstrate this is I have a couple quotes I want to share with you, and they're a little bit more eloquent than I can be. So first quote, what surrounds us is within us. What surrounds us is within us. What do you think that means to you, ladies? What surrounds us is within us. To me, that means everything around you, from the places you spend the most time, your office, your house, your friend's house, your family, to the people you spend time with, that is who you become, right? You ever heard the saying, you are the sum of the 5 closest people you spend time with? Same thing. So wherever you're spending the most time and whoever you spend the most time with, you become them, right? Has anybody been in a situation where, or maybe when you were younger, you lived with a friend and then you guys were like finishing each other's sentences? Or you started having a cycle line up, like you were menstruating at the same time? I had that so many times before. It's crazy. And you become your environment. Because why? Because as women, we're extremely adaptive. So it's in our nature to adapt to our environment. So if our environment is at a low frequency, guess what? You are stuck at a low frequency, even if you have intentions of being up here with a frequency. So what surrounds you is within you, okay? And the problem with that is we don't look at it that way. We think, throwing a meal plan or throwing a workout program on top of your current lifestyle is going to be the answer, right? We think this adding things to our lifestyle is the answer. But then what happens when we lose motivation and we take away those things? Guess what? We're left with the same lifestyle. And that lifestyle is what got us here in the first place. So you can't just throw things on top of it and expect there to be any different results than anything that's happened in the past, right? And so what surrounds you is within you. And if you want to change what's within you and how you look and how you feel, then what surrounds you needs to change. That is one thing women do not realize. And when they do realize it, it's something that they try to fight and cheat and not believe that it's true, right? Because it's restructuring your entire life. Does that even sound appealing? Does that even sound easy? No thanks. I'll just take the meal plan and the workout, please. Right? So it's crazy. So that's kind of the first thing I want us to think about, okay? Second quote, how can you be inspired if you do not surround yourself with inspiration? How can you be inspired if you do not surround yourself with inspiration? How do you expect to stay motivated and inspired to be healthy if your environment is not inspirational or built around being healthy? Right? And it's not built around health. Otherwise, you would be healthy and you would be a healthy weight and you would have the body you want, right? So there's another disconnect there, right? Because what do we tell ourselves? You know, I wish I was motivated. I wish I was inspired. Why can't I stick to something? If only I could just follow through, right? But you're saying this and you're not creating that emotion to be easily fostered in your lifestyle. Your lifestyle right now is not easily fostering and growing those emotions, right? Why? Because you got junk food in the fridge staring at you every time you open the door. That's not going to be very motivating, right? You got people in your house, you know, saying you should stop losing weight, you look fine. That's not going to make you still want to change. Do you get where I'm going, ladies? And so if you want to be inspired and you want to stay motivated this time around, your lifestyle has to foster that emotion. It doesn't just, motivation doesn't just show up and stay one day, right? Do you think an Olympic athlete ever has pizza in their house when they're training? Do you think they'd ever have a leftover box of pizza in their fridge? Do you think they would even order it in the first place? Do you think they would let their significant other leave a box of donuts out on the counter? No way, right? No freaking way. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable for the level of excellence you are trying to achieve. That makes it harder for you to achieve your excellence. So why would we continue to do it? Does this make sense? It's things like this that we have to consider. It's taking that like one layer deeper of how can we make this easier, right? Because this journey is not always easy, okay? But how can we make it easier? How can we do that? Because it can be possible, and I guarantee you something in your lifestyle, in your household, in your environment is making it this way harder than it needs to be. Okay, you follow me so far? Yes? Okay. It's also funny because, you know, when you were building your life, when you were building your routines, your habits, how your household runs, while you were building that, you had goals in mind, right? And those goals were get a good career, start a good family, you know, get married, all this stuff, right? Like the basics that society tells us we need, right? And if you wanted it, sure, nothing wrong with that. But that's how we built our life, right? We made our life fit those goals, okay? But here's the thing. We didn't make it fit health. So now we're having to backtrack. When we've built a lifestyle for different goals, now we're trying to fit health into where that fits in. Like we're trying to fill the cracks and the holes with health when we can, right? But we should be doing the opposite. Your main goal, the way that your life and your environment and your household is structured should be starting from the goal of health. Physical and mental excellence is the only goal that you should be having in life. That is where every other goal should stem from. And then you fit your goals around health. Does that make sense? So that's why it's so difficult sometimes, because you've built your life and your daily habits, your day-in-day routine, how your household functions, how your family responds to you, right? All of these things have been built on the basis of, you know, here are my goals, let me fit health into it now. But if health was the goal, it would be way easier. That's what Ryan and I do, right? We have a remote business. We have a gym in the house. We do fitness and health for a living as a career. We've built our life with the goal of health in the center, and everything else, kids, family, marriage, house, that fits into my health schedule. Does that make sense? And so that is where we are trying to get you, ladies. We're trying to switch it over. Instead of fitting in health, health is a priority, everything else fits in. Now, of course, easier said than done, right? I mean, I'm talking about completely rearranging your life here, completely rearranging daily habits, how your family acts, how your whole household functions. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't worry, right? It's about, I mean, this is where we get you, right? This is where we get you, right? Because when life gets crazy, when life gets chaotic, what's usually the first thing that goes? Your health. right? You stop making time to work out, you forget to meal prep, you don't take me time and you get too stressed. So right now, your health is still not the priority because it's the easiest thing and the first thing that we drop when life gets hard, right? And so by slowly restructuring how the household functions, how your daily habits go, how your lifestyle looks, then that becomes easier. Then your health is a priority and it's a non-negotiable. It's something that always gets done. It's never dropped because it's just so automatic and easy for you, okay? And again, it's a process, but it's a process that, number one, you need to be aware of, because sometimes along your journey, you're like, well, this is hard. Why is this not working? I want to give up. This isn't worth it anymore, right? We've all said that. Even for like a millisecond in our head, we've said it. I'm just going to give up, or I'm good enough. I've come this far, right? We've all said that stuff. And in that moment, what's going on is your old lifestyle is not aligning with your new goal of health. Your old lifestyle is not helping you be healthy. It's not making health the easy choice. Is that making sense? Right? It's not making health the easy choice, right? And so another quote is, in the long run, you can never be any better than your surroundings. In the long run, you will never be any better than your surroundings. So take a second and think of your surroundings. Where do you spend your most time? Where are the 2 places you spend the most time? Let me know in the comments. Right now it's probably your house, and maybe your office in the house. Maybe it's, your work office. Maybe it's a friend's house. Maybe it's a kitchen, grocery store, right? Like, what are the rooms that you spend the most time in? Probably your office, your bedroom, and your kitchen, right? So whatever, the 3 rooms or the 3 places you spend the most time in. Do they make it easy for you to be healthy in those rooms? Or does it make it hard to be healthy in those rooms? What do we think? Does your office have a secret stash of candy for later, for when you're stressed? Maybe that's what you need to tackle. Does your kitchen cater to the lower frequency people in your house? What do we think? Have you built and designed your household to fit and be perfect for the lower frequency version of yourself and the lower frequency version of the people that you live with? Has it stayed there, or has it improved? What still needs to be improved, right? Because like I said, you built your life when you were at a lower frequency. You weren't woke, as they say. You didn't have, you were in the Wizard of Oz before they saw color, right? So that's where you were, and now you're seeing in color. So what are you going to do about it? You want to stay seeing color. So you have to go back and see, okay, what are the lower frequency people and places that if I spend time there, I'm going to get dragged down? Is it your husband? Is it your kid? Is it your mother-in-law? What are those dangerous people that you seem weak around, that challenge your mood and that you get lowered around? Okay. Guess what? You have to limit your time with them, or you only speak with them on your terms, right? Anytime you speak with somebody who is not on the same journey as you and who is a lower frequency, there's a danger of you getting pulled down back to your starting frequency. Does that make sense, ladies? And that's okay. I don't want you to panic. I don't want you to freak out, because unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, it's up for opinion. A lot of your loved ones are just going to be a lower frequency. That's just what it is, right? Not a good thing, not a bad thing. They're just lower, right? Good thing for them, bad thing for you, right? It's contagious. It's going to go down. They're energy vampires. They will suck you dry, okay? So you need to make sure that you are only communicating with them on your time. So you have control over your space. You're protecting your space, right? And if it's your spouse, that's even harder. That's something you really need to look at. What's absolutely crazy, this still blows my freaking mind. We've had fit queens divorce their husbands because they weren't aligning. They weren't aligning. And we've had tons of fit queens break up with their boyfriends because they weren't aligning. Nuts. Isn't that nuts? Still blows my mind. But that sometimes is the natural progression. And they embraced My frequency is my frequency. I have to protect it. If the other person isn't respecting that, then there's nothing you can do. If the other person is respecting that, then of course you can continue. But sometimes there's just no other option. So that's an extreme of protecting your frequency. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely blows my freaking mind. It even sounds weird to say it out loud, but it's the truth. And so we got to protect that. And most importantly, so there will be some negative people in your life. You have to protect your frequency, but for the most part, that's manageable because, I mean, right now you don't really get to see too many people anyway. So then it becomes, right now specifically, how is your environment lowering your frequency? That's the most important part, ladies. So there's something going on with either, your day-to-day routine, the way that you've structured your house, the way that your house is set up, that is hindering you or making it harder than it needs to be, okay? So I want you to take a second, and I want you to think of one thing in your household, or one person, one thing in your household that needs to change in order for health to be an easier decision. Okay, so what is that one thing that you've been keeping the same because you're catering it to somebody who's a lower frequency, or you're catering it to your lower frequency self? What's the one thing that needs to change in your house right now to make eating healthy an easier decision? What is it? Snacks, exactly. Get them out. Who are you catering to? The lower frequency people in the house or your lower frequency self, right? If there's snacks in the house, someone is going to eat them, period. It's either going to be you or the other person. Guaranteed, neither of you need them, right? And if the other person's really dying for it, guess what? We got Uber Eats and all that fun stuff. So they can do that to themselves, okay? What else do we got? Routine needs to change. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about routine. So routine is kind of vague in terms of, if we say I need to fix my routine, it can be a little overwhelming because that could be a big task. So instead of saying I need to fix my routine, okay, say what can you add to your routine, or what can you take away? You don't need to change everything, right? What can we add? What can we take away, right? Can we take away, watching 2 movies in a row at night instead, and then just do 1 movie in a row with the family, so that way you're not likely to grab the popcorn for the second movie, right? Can you take away, napping in the middle of the day? Like, what can you remove, and what's one thing you can add? Don't go crazy with it. Again, like I said, if you are unhappy with your body, or you still want to see changes with your health and your body, that means your lifestyle is not where it needs to be. Your household is not set up the way that it needs to be, period, right? Some, like, healthy, you guys, clean house does what? Clean mind, right? Dirty house, dirty mind, frazzled mind, unorganized mind, right? Same parallel with health. Unhealthy, overweight, that means your lifestyle unhealthy and makes you overweight, right? And then some people will say, well, no, I have a healthy lifestyle, but then you're overweight. So then there's another problem. Your reality is not aligning with the real reality, right? Bottom line, if you have extra fat on you, if you are not exercising regularly, there's a problem with the routine that you've built yourself and the way that you've structured your life. Health is a side thing you're trying to add in. And if you only keep trying to add it in, instead of making it the main event, you're going to struggle, okay? You're going to struggle. So I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight, okay? But I'm saying if you fight this and you think just adding things to your lifestyle, like a meal plan and a workout program, if you think that's the magical solution, you're going to be very disappointed and very frustrated, and you're always going to end up back at the same place where your current lifestyle will always drag you and always produce. Does that make sense, ladies? It's crazy. It's crazy. And some people didn't sign up for this. Some people are like, I just want to lose some weight, please. And now I'm like, bam, knowledge bombs. Some people didn't sign up for this, but that's the difference between people who are going to be the champions and reach physical and mental excellence, like the 1% of people in this world out of the billions. Some people will take on that challenge. Some people will accept that challenge. Some people won't believe it or won't want to do it. And that's the people who lose the same 10 and 20 pounds your whole life, right? Every time you go on a diet, you lose 10 pounds, gain it back. Next diet, same 10 pounds, gain it back. And to break that cycle, what do you have to do? Health has to be number 1. It's not a priority. It's a non-negotiable. How can you change your life to fit that goal? Instead of health fitting your current life, right? And that's how it starts. That's how your journey will start. We got to fit health into what you have now. But as you go through the journey, you fall in love with it, right? You crave workouts. You get addicted to workouts. You crave results. You get addicted to the results. You get addicted to the clothes getting smaller. You feel so good and so confident. You want that to be the focus of your life. And then that's when we can slowly make changes and slowly restructure the life that you've built to fit that goal, right? If the plan doesn't match the goal, well, then you're going to be putting a hell of a lot of work for nothing in return, right? If you live in a house where every day you come home and there's a box of Timbits on the counter, you will not lose weight. You will not. You will not. If you come home and there's someone sitting on the couch ordering KFC every night, that person will not help you lose weight. That person will be the reason that you struggle. It just won't happen. So my goal for you ladies is to realize that we have to make health the main goal, okay? We have to make that the center of our lives slowly, okay? Accept that fact, work towards it, and then audit yourself. Like, check your surroundings, check your environment, your house. Start in your house. Where do you spend the most time? Is it your bed, your kitchen, or your office, right? Does it make it easy to be healthy in there? If not, what do you have to do? Do you have to make it cleaner? Do you have to set boundaries with the people you live with? Do you have to do a pantry clean? Do you have to keep all the healthy food in glass containers and the other food in solid containers so you can't see it? What are some things that you can do that will bring your environment up to the frequency that you are trying to vibrate at, above where most women are? It's above average. And that's why it's so difficult, because you won't find a lot of people at the same frequency as you. And so it's very hard to stay at that frequency if your environment does not align, because everyone else around you will be a little bit lower. And that's fine, right? Not knocking anybody. That's their prerogative if they want to be at that frequency. It's just you have a high expectation of yourself and your abilities. So you need to protect that expectation at all costs, okay? Period. And hang around people with higher frequency. That's where we come in. We're contagious. We'll make you want to keep going. All right, ladies? So, crazy topic today. I hope that resonates with you. If you have any questions about it, if you want to know, how can we change the frequencies, let me know, shoot me an email, and we can go further into that. But there are definitely obstacles in your life, your routine, your house right now that are not making healthy decisions easy. So ask yourself, when we get off this call, what is one thing I can change in my day-to-day routine that will make healthy choices easy, right? Can I ask my husband, please stop eating out 7 days a week? Can you make it 6? Like little changes like that, right? Please stop baking every night, right? Like the quarantine thing was bread. Everybody was making bread for some reason. I even did it. I don't know what. Ooh, we're all bakers all of a sudden. Can you please stop making bread every night, please? Like, just little things like that, ladies, make a difference, okay? Please do not rely on motivation and willpower alone, okay? That's what you've been doing so far, and it doesn't work. Motivation always fades, right? Like, do you think all these people who created these beautiful things and these amazing inventions, the plane, the light bulb, do you think they were motivated to figure it out after the 1,000th time it experimented and it failed? They could have given up, but they didn't rely on motivation. What did they do? They had a lifestyle that made it easy to get up the next morning and try again. So that's what you need to be thinking about. How can you make it easier for yourself every day? Physically, strategically, right? There's mental aspects where you will get stronger, you will build your willpower up over time. That's what the Mind Makeover is all about. But physically, until then, you need to safeguard your space and safeguard your frequency until you're actually vibrating there. We're trying to be there. You're not there just yet. And so what are the actual physical changes and strategies you can put in place to make your lifestyle easier to choose health? Okay, ladies? So I will leave you with that message. Thank you for joining me. Really reflect on that. Ask yourself, because I find that you've created a lifestyle that caters to lower frequency people, right? Whether that be your husband who's not ready for his weight loss journey yet, or your children who don't care about health yet, right? They're just a lower frequency in the health area. And you've catered your health and your lifestyle and your household around those low frequency people, right? But in the short term, sure, that might be painful to fix. Sure, they'll be pissed there's no fruit roll-ups in the pantry, right? But long term, do you want your loved ones to end up like you and how you felt at your lowest moments? Do you want them to be stuck at a low frequency like you were for so long? No. So slowly bring them into your frame and bring them up to your frequency by changing the environment as much as you comfortably can to start. Okay, ladies? So love ya. Thank you for joining me. You guys are awesome. Keep your frequency, protect your frequency, and make the healthy decisions easier. Figure out how to do that with one thing at a time. All right, ladies? Enjoy your night. I love ya. Bye.